be very honest, I love AJ Styles. I've watched him for a very long time. I didn't really keep up with his TNA stuff, but I always kind of knew where he was and what he was kind of doing. So when he debuted in the WWE, you can imagine that I was ecstatic. Now AJ Styles handles the in-ring work really well. His mic promos are fantastic. I mean, come on, you don't see those promos nowadays. Now I can only imagine that AJ Styles doesn't have too long left in his wrestling career, but I'm hoping that he makes the most out of what's left. With that being said, you've got AJ Styles, who recently won the United States Championship on a house show, which has not been done in a very long time. Now, instead of planning his career like you normally would for a new superstar, saying that, alright, he's here, okay, over maybe 3 years, we're gonna give him, let's say, back in the day, a King of the Ring win, and then maybe down the line, we'll give him a world title win, and in the middle, he'll be holding either the United States Championship or the IC title. But AJ Styles needs to bang them out fast. So I say, let AJ Styles be the first ever person to hold a championship, a secondary championship, and win the Royal Rumble. Number one, people are not going to expect it. People will think, oh, damn it, okay, AJ Styles has the championship, he's not going to win the Royal Rumble. Eliminate him from your mind immediately. Number two, there's no such rule that says if you're holding a title belt, you cannot enter the Royal Rumble. I mean, even the WWE champion has entered the Royal Rumble, aka Roman Reigns, when he lost the Royal Rumble match to Triple H. But the countless number of tag team champions, United States champions, intercontinental champions, I mean, all sorts of champions have walked into the Royal Rumble, never been successful, but AJ Styles could be that first person to do that, and he deserves to have that title, the first title holder to ever win the Royal Rumble. AJ Styles is as over as a Mexican in Texas, and this guy could seriously, that's very racist of me, I'm sorry. AJ Styles eventually does need to drop the United States Championship, and there's a plethora of people he could do that too. But then, his Royal Rumble victory leads him to a WrestleMania main event. And that main event should be versus Seth freaking Rollins. Now you're probably going like, oh, how can he do that? One's on Raw, one's on SmackDown. Well, remember, the Royal Rumble winner gets to pick the champion of his choosing, which would mean you put that Universal title on Seth Rollins and then have Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles in a cross-promotional match at WrestleMania. We've seen Nakamura versus AJ Styles in Japan, and it was a great match, and I would love to see it again, but I really want to see Seth Rollins versus AJ Styles because those guys could carry the entire pay-per-view with one match. And because he deserves it, AJ Styles goes over on Seth Rollins, and then Seth Rollins could turn heel at WrestleMania on AJ Styles and go for another heel run, which everyone wins. Everyone win. You all have wins. Everyone's winning. Holy fuck. Okay, number one, why is Roman Reigns not arrested yet? That man tried to kill, I know Braun Strowman's a monster, but still, fuck. The editing was done really well at Great Balls of Fire. I liked that it looked like Braun Strowman was still in the truck, and it wasn't like that ambulance thing that they did, which was terrible, where you could see Braun Strowman's like lifting it. He's like, all right, am I done? Oh, okay, wait, what? No. They kept the parts really nice, and then Roman Reigns backed up into that wall or something and practically killed Braun Strowman, so Strowman's dead. He just continued walking, bled all over the place, and that's why no one's seen him. That's it. He's dead. He's murdered. And for that, Roman Reigns gets a title opportunity. Of course. Wrestling logic. Okay, I don't know if you remember this because you better fucking should. Edge spearing Jeff Hardy off that ladder, and Jeff Hardy hanging onto the title belt, dropping down maybe 20 feet and just crashing and burning. That's one of the most iconic played back scenes of any WrestleMania, and that moment was captured so well with Edge's expression after they take the bump and both of them collapsing and the height and the camera. Everything was perfect about that shot, and the way they executed that move, brilliant. Speaking of iconic, Mankind, for the love of Mankind, fell from the top of the Hell in a Cell after Undertaker threw him at King of the Ring 98. And this is my number one fall of all time because the height that Shane McMahon fell from. Oh my god, I can't even describe how horrific. He just dropped He just dropped. That man's insane. His dad is the boss of the company. You don't need to be doing that. He still took that bump. If you see how far up the camera pans, you cannot see anything else. There's just those two men hanging on this contraption, and one of them just falls back first. That was absolutely insane. And as you can see here, I had gathered a bunch of people to watch that for the very first time, along with other multiple WWE clips ranging from happy to sad to just weird and freaky. If you haven't watched that already, check out that video in the link above. Finally, apart from just looking into each other's eyes, Mike and Maria Kanellis do something and take out Sami Zayn with aggression. Shinsuke Nakamura finally gets his revenge on Baron Corbin for constant beat-ups. He is at number 9 this week. And a promising tag team that kind of disappeared for a while, the Club returns and gets a big win over the Hardy Boys. The Boss may have failed to capture the women's title at Great Balls of Fire, but she did get a measure of revenge on Alexa Bliss and a victory in tag team action on Raw. Mike the Miz retaining his belt at Great Balls of Fire. He is at number 6. And the big bright man, who apparently no one can see, got a tag team victory with AJ Styles against Rusev and Kevin Owens on SmackDown Live. Surprisingly, getting 2 victories over Seth freaking Rollins, Bray Wyatt is at number 4. The phenomenal AJ Styles gets a big win at Madison Square Garden and then gets a tag team victory over Kevin Owens again. He is at number 3. The Beast Incarnate took out his biggest threat and then looked extremely intimidating on Raw while facing off against Roman Reigns and Samoa Joe. And the victor of the ambulance match, and then suddenly being murdered to stepping out and walking away from a car crash, Braun Strowman gets the number 1 position this week. So I'm not sure what the fuck a flag match is, but with Battleground and SummerSlam coming up soon, there was one common factor. Which 2 superstars competed in the last flag match to be held at SummerSlam? Oh, and if you didn't know, Matthew Cardona is Zack freaking Ryder. And you know who knew that? These people. They all knew that. And if you know this week's correct answer, drop me the answer in the comments below, or tweet me, or reply to me on Instagram. I'm your host, the Kayfabe Jobber, and I have some very big news for you. So be sure to check out a video that I'll be releasing very shortly, and that, my friends, is when I say, Kayfabe Jobber.